What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of a new show that I'm doing. Going to be called Young Guns, and who better than to start with than some of North America's rising stars from the Rise Nation. We have Ace and we have Jonji. Ace's net is pretty cancer right now, so he's kind of like dancing around the screen, but he's here. Don't worry about it. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, doing great, man. How you doing?
Can't complain. Pretty good. So yeah, obviously these two youngsters are on the team Rise Nation, toiling through ESEA Premier. They finished the season in the first seed and are now awaiting for the start of playoffs. And you guys will be facing Fly Guy Entertainment, I believe, in the first round, the 8th seed. And obviously coming off a second place finish at Fragadelphia, very impressive, and we'll get to that later. But first, we gotta get through all the old stuff. So, how did you guys discover CS? Ace, we'll start with you.
When I was really younger, like 10 years old, I watched my stepdad play like 1.6 and stuff. I never played it, but I just watched him play it. I thought it was really cool. And so like I always knew it was like a game and it was in the scene, but I was always on console, so I never really got the chance to play it. But I don't know, I just found my way here, and it's probably the most fun game I've ever played in my life. Actually, it's a huge love-hate relationship, to be honest. Like, the game is so annoying. Oh my god.
Jonji, how about you?
I don't know. I used to play like Call of Duty, and then all of a sudden I just got a PC for like one of my birthdays, and then I was playing DayZ, and then I found a friend. And then he brought me into like this group of friends, and we all started playing CS, and it's just like a matchmaking, and then we started like an open team, and then it just went up from there.
Mm-hmm. So Global Offensive is your first CS game for both of you guys,
yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah. Because when I was doing some research, I noticed that was you've only played ESEA like in leagues anyway in Go, right? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely part of this newer, younger generation that doesn't have that 1.6 or even Source background. You guys are pure Go machines. So yeah, Jonji, kind of as you said, you guys were both working your way up through Open IM. Jonji, you played a few more seasons than Ace has. Ace has kind of had a meteoric rise through ESEA. But you guys really both kind of didn't burst on the scene per se, but you kind of came onto the scene in late 2016. Ace with Eclipse at the time, and Jonji with Insomnia and later Subtle. So I mean, kind of how was that period for you? Obviously, Ace, you guys won IM and then got placed in Premier. No one expected anything out of you guys, and then you bust out this 11-win streak before dropping a map. So that's impressive in itself, right? But what did it take to get to that?
It took a lot of grinding, a lot of hard work. Like pretty much, I worked at Papa John's. Like when I played back in IM, I literally worked, came home, played CS, slept, and repeated. Like it was literally just a constant grind, and like I don't know, you have to put in the hours if you want good results. So I mean, I just had my team like Eclipse. Eclipse. I was really blessed because like when I first started, my first team was with players like Clumsy, who was just in Premier, Neptune, who was with Ghost. Like I was like blessed to play with like players who were pretty like high caliber, and I shouldn't have been in Open to begin with. So I mean, that was kind of easy. And like even like Jonji, me and John came up like the same time. We played each other in like Open playoffs. I'm pretty sure in IM playoffs too. Like so we kind of always like knew each other there. So I mean, it's just a hard grind pretty much.
Jonji, what about you? You kind of have a different story, right? You didn't really come to consciousness as part of an ESEA team, even though you were playing in Premier. But really, we first saw you on Subtle, Ocean's team for WESG. And I forget, did you find your way onto that team after Nerdy got VAC banned or before?
Nerdy, like in Brazil, he wasn't VAC'd, so we were playing with him in Brazil.
Right.
But afterwards, he got VAC'd, yeah.
Right. Okay. So how did you find your way onto that team?
So I was playing with Insomnia at the time, and like one of our last league matches, Cardiac, and Ocean asked him to like go to WSG, and I guess he had school and stuff to like commit to since we didn't make playoffs or like something at that point. So after our league match, we just played Subtle on Nuke. I did okay, and then like I was like, yo, Cardiac, you tell Kyle or Ocean like to like ask me or like see if I could go, and then like that it was literally like a 1 hour decision. I went upstairs. I was like, yo, Dad, could I like go to Brazil? And he was like, what in the and then so it was just like wild, and then Insomnia ended up like cutting me because like I asked the management of Insomnia like that moment when he asked me, I was like, yo, can I go? And then like a bunch of stuff happened that like doesn't really matter, but yeah, and then after WSG we did pretty well, and then like I was like, I don't have a team anymore, so if you guys need a fifth or whatever to finish out the season, like I'm down. And yeah, that's how that happened.
Okay. So you mentioned going to Brazil with Subtle, obviously. Did you have to do that whole like Mexico excursion to get the visas for Brazil as well?
Yeah, that was a blast. Yeah.
So yeah, what was that like? Because obviously, I'm assuming you were the youngest member of the team. You're with like Grandpa Ocean and Els, you know, and like all these guys. So like, I'm sure they were just boozing it up for a week that they were in Mexico. But like, what the hell were you doing?
So that was literally my first time ever flying. I had a quicker flight than them. Their flight got delayed, so I landed in Mexico. My first time ever flying. I was in the airport for like 5 hours at like midnight all by myself, like a little 16-year-old Jonji. So I was so terrified, and my bank card wasn't working at the ATMs there, so I couldn't get food. So like I just found like this random security guard, and he just like sat at the table next to me because like apparently like people have to like steal stuff there. So I was hella scared. I had my phone. Oh, and my phone was dead too. So they have like these little charging booths.
Right.
You plug your phone in. So I'm plugging my phone in. I'm sitting at the table right in front of it, and like every 5 seconds, I'm like super tired, trying to go to sleep. But yeah, it was a wild ride.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys did well in Brazil, right? And you were able to go to like the actual WESG finals in China, like representing Canada. So, I mean, I didn't know that Brazil and Mexico was your first time flying. So like that's a pretty whirlwind tour for, you know, young Jonji to within like a span of like 3 months get picked up by this good is a strong word, but by this premier team with Ocean, and then you're flying around the world to Mexico, to Brazil, and then China. What was it like in China?
China was super good. Like it was a blast. Like I mean, we got out. Like we had the hardest group anybody could have gotten at that tournament. Plus, we had 2 stand-ins, which one of them had 400 hours in the game. So like we pretty much knew, like all of us wanted to win, but we knew like beating VP and Envy and Epsilon, like the sick Epsilon roster, was just gonna be impossible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We just took it as a trip to China, pretty much. But
right, because you had to play with KNC1, right? Because
because
the
Hades
whole
dodged.
situation. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, that's what he dodged? That was the land?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the plan.
$1.5 million land in China is
That is crazy.
And,
I'm mad for you right now. I'm hurt.
But I mean, amazingly, you guys actually performed very well. Like, play 14-16 against VP or something?
We took him into OT. Yeah. On Kabul. Yeah, and we did pretty well against like Envy and Epsilon, but just couldn't win a map.
Yeah. I mean, do you have anything to say about the Hades situation? Is there anything that like has not been revealed yet, or is it all out there?
I don't know. Pretty much all like the text that Els like released, like he says he didn't dodge, but he definitely did dodge. But like, I don't know. Like, I really wish he would have came though, cause like we could have actually won something. Like I don't know. I think he was super scared about Nerdy like getting banned or whatever. But like we replaced him with Davey, which is like the same. Like he's the lurker. They're both super sick at the game. Like there's no reason for him to dodge, but it's whatever.
Yeah. Well, he's back now, you know. He's back in the mirror.
I despise it, dude. I can't believe.
I'm surprised he got back into the scene so easily after like doing that.
Yeah,
I feel like there'd be a little bit more like ridicule or something in there. But
he like hid for 3 months and then came back and everybody forgot about it. But
I guess
that's a pretty smart way to go about it.
He's on guerrilla tactics, so is he really back in the scene? Like,
True. I can't speed down on guerrilla tactics, but no.
That's okay. I'll do it for you. That's all right.
Thank you.
Here's a little inside baseball. So when I was doing interviews at Frag, I was obviously talking to Swag and Whitmer. I had that duo interview with them, and I asked Sean about like you're playing in Premiere with Guerrilla Tactics, what that's like, and he just like laughs at me. He's like, I don't even want to talk about that, man.
That's funny.
But it's all right. Someone save that man. All right. So moving beyond Jonji's Chinese adventure, let's talk about ESEA season 24. Jonji, by this time you had found your way into E United, or you would eventually find your way onto E United, right? Playing with guys like Mainline, J. Cruel, Davey, Mitch. What was that like? Because obviously, so you had a little experience with Davey, and you had a high taste of high-level play at WSG, but now you were kind of thrust into, the Premier scene, right?
Yeah, United was, like, I learned a lot just being there. Like, there was some, like, conflicts with personalities, I would say. Like, some people just didn't like losing, and then, like, they would bring the team down. So, like, there's, like, it was, like, a super sick team, but it just didn't work out in the end. And, yeah, that's...
BMC, the gods.
Yeah, man, we ended up...
The only team that can beat United was BMC, I swear.
Yeah, that was the only team that we didn't want to play in playoffs, and then us losing to them in Inferno on like the regular season really messed everything up and gave them a little spot to get in, and it... Yeah.
Yeah, because they got into the playoffs as the 7th or 8th seed, right? And you guys were,
it was the 8th
you guys
seed.
were the 1st or 2nd seed, I believe, and then you wound up playing the first round, and then you lost, right?
Yeah.
And then,
That
and then... incoming segue here. Ace, we talked about your guys' hard and fast and improbable start to the Premier season. These young IM upstarts. You finish up the season 14-2 or 13-3, I think. And then you wound up playing French Canadians, right? District 7 now.
Oh,
yeah. And then losing to them, right, in the first round.
Yep.
So
it's all coming back.
Yeah.
Nice.
So both you guys, top 2 seeds in Premier season 24. Which is a promotion season, so the most important kind of season you can have. And both you guys bomb out of the playoffs. So what was that roller coaster journey like for you, right? To the highest highs of Premier, to the lowest lows.
Well, for my team, Eclipse, it was pretty terrible, to be honest, because like nobody expected much of us coming into the season to begin with. And then we came in, explosive start, 10-something, ended up 14-2. A lot of hype, and then we just get bombed in the playoffs. Like we should have won this shit or that crap, but we threw the second map. We lost to an eco, so I mean it's kind of like with Rise, but same thing. We always lose in ecos, but lose second map, and that was my birthday. Like playoffs was on my birthday, and then we lost third map overpass. We lose like 16-4 or something. Oh, I was like worst day of my life. But I mean it was so hard. Like we should have beat the Frenchies, but I mean like they played better, they deserved it, and we just sucked. That's pretty much all there was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Jonji, you can't feel that bad because obviously Ghost went on to claim a spot in Pro League, right? Although, I mean, what's going to happen with them is kind of up in the air right now. But for now, let's say that they're in Pro League, or will be for Season 6. District 7 now also, not a team to smirk at. They're back in playoffs this season as well with you guys. So it's not like you guys lost to bumps. So at least there's that. You take that away. But then, after season 24, you guys formed the Megazord of Rise Nation. What was the Eclipse core moved over, dropping Buju and Thug Waffle. You guys added Jonji and dazzLe. Although there was a point in there where you were playing with GMD, right? So kind of what happened with that?
All right. Originally, it was gonna be like when we were looking at pickups, we had like 6 people that we were looking at, but John, dazzLe, and GMD were like the last 3 because we needed some interiors. And like John's an amazing entry. I love you, John. You're the best, man. This dude's fearless. Let us go win 1v5 someone. He doesn't care at all. But yeah, we were also looking at GMD. He was he was playing pretty well when we scrimmed with him. He was super vocal, like what he was doing, and he wasn't scared to entry, so it's pretty good. But like, and during this whole time, we're kind of going through like organization changes from Eclipse to Rise. So there's kind of some sketchy stuff going on, and he wasn't really trying to get involved with that. And so he ended up kind of flaking out on us, and we kind of needed someone last second. So we ended up going with John and Will, or dazzLe rather.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I wish we could give Anthony a chance, but I mean, we were 14-2 with John and Will. So I mean, I'm happy with the results. I'm kind of glad we ran with these two.
Yeah, I mean, no one can deny that it's worked out so far, and hopefully will continue to do so. I mean, do you think that, you know, subbing in dazzLe instead of GM, that affect like the complexion of the team at all, or would they basically have been doing the same kind of roles?
I feel like it definitely affected the way like our team plays a little bit, because Will's more of like he is our second entry, but he also can kind of play that lurk role. Like he has some experience in rank S with lurking and all that type. And Anthony is more of just kind of a deady second in entry, or kind of like with John. So I mean, it definitely changed the narrative of our gameplay a little bit, but not too much. I feel like it was the right move.
Okay. You guys also added Oso as a coach. You know, coach with pro league experience with Winter Fox and some other teams. And Jonji, you had worked with him on E United, and I heard that you were kind of instrumental in getting him involved in the project. Is that the case?
Yeah. At first, like when I first joined the team, like we weren't bad, but like our comms and like we got tilted like so easily off like just the dumbest things, just like in scrims and stuff. So I was like also helped us a lot on United with like getting untilted and not like just like getting mad at the stupidest little things. So like I was just like, he can help us with so much, and he's like he not only coaches, but he does like analysts, like he's all of it, and he's doing like he's scheduling our scrims, which we were lacking when I first joined the team too. So like it was just like he just helped in every single aspect that like you could imagine. It was really perfect.
Yeah, I mean, so talk about kind of what he brings to the team as well from like a strategic kind of like, is he trying to elevate your guys' game like to get you ready for pro level? Like, I assume that he's not calling puggy strats for you guys, right?
No, he actually helps us a lot, to be honest. Like, he doesn't really call for us. I mean, we have ESEA, like he's like pretty much our main call, but every now and then you can hear Oso, like he'll get like a read or something, and he'll try to pass that on to us. Like he won't really give us a set strat to do, rather than he gives us like a recommendation of how we could have done something or what we could still do, I guess. But yeah, he definitely helps us a lot. Like he always points out our mistakes. Like that's probably the biggest thing for me, at least. Like if I ever like over peak something, aggressively peak, miss something up, he'll let me know and like drill that into my head that I messed up. And like I don't know, that really helps me as a player progress. So I don't know, he definitely brings a lot to our team, and I'm pretty thankful for him. Like him and John, like coming into the squad, like really helps.
Okay, cool. So Ace, you kind of talked a little bit about, you know, Papa John's working CS, that whole deal. What is life like in Premiere for you guys now? Oh, before I do this, I had heard a rumor that on Eclipse you guys are making $100 a month salary. Is that the case?
No, we're making $500 a month on Eclipse. So I mean, like.
Bad.
Coming into Premiere from IM and getting like a $500 salary, like that's not bad. Like I was more than happy with that. Like anything helps, because I mean, if you're living off like any tip wage, like to live, like once you get a little bit bonus, I mean, you can take a little bit of time off. I get to play a lot more CS when that happened, and it definitely helped a lot.
Okay.
Because Papa John sucked. Took up so much time, didn't get paid from it. Like it was the worst.
So now with Rise, like what are your like daily schedules like? I mean, Jonji, you're pretty young, so I don't know if you're in school right now or like what's the plan? What's happening?
At the moment, I'm about to start doing like online to finish off my school, because a lot of stuff happened. Like when I went to Brazil and stuff, I ended up taking my senior year off because like I also had someone pass away that was pretty close to me, and like it was just not my year. So my dad gave me my senior year off to go to China and Brazil and stuff with Ocean and them to like kickstart what this turned into, I guess. But now I just like I wake up, have breakfast, work out, and then practice and go to bed, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Ace, what about you?
Pretty much the same thing. I don't really like talking about my schedule because it is so bad. Like I don't know, I wake up get about 1 o'clock is when I aim to wake up. Spend like an hour on my phone in bed before I can even think about getting out of bed. And then I pretty much just try and fill my free time until about 6 o'clock, and that's when we all start getting on practice. Practice to like 10, 11 usually. Like honestly, we need to practice a lot more. Like I kind of wish we practiced like at least like 1 to 2 more hours. I feel like it'd definitely help us, but yeah, just pretty much in at 11, then try and hang out with friends while I can. Like we play like how many days? 5 days a week, so we don't get a lot of free time, especially when you sleep like 12 hours. But
Okay. So, as mentioned, you guys were at Frag 11, as was I, and you guys finished second. Took some good scalps, played a couple of games against Complexity. Wound up losing to Onage in a very long, drawn-out BO5 that didn't end until 3:30 a.m. I didn't get back to New York until 7 a.m. I hate you guys.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
But how was that experience for you? Because, Ace, you're no stranger to like these kind of local North American lands. Like you played a couple frags, you played Onslaught. Jonji obviously was no WESG, but you've been to a handful of lands as well. So how was that whole experience for you?
This frag was hands down 10 times better than the last frag. Like last frag, I was freezing. Everyone was freezing. It was like -80. Like we have to sit outside. It was awful. But this frag, it was so much more fun. Like you had a huge venue. The venue was amazing. Like had perfect rooms set up. The matches were awesome. Like I don't know, everything went a lot smoother. So it was a great experience to be honest.
Jonji, what about you?
I don't know, like that was my first frag ever, so it was pretty like sick. Like the venue was sick. I got to meet so many people. Like I think that's the best thing about frag. Like you get to meet all the people that like you've been playing with forever that end up going. And honestly, I just went there to beat Cole because that's all I wanted to do. And that's so.
Yeah, so what do you think about the matches that you guys played? Like,
we played way too many.
Well,
the first best of 3 we played was like 3 map, or not the first one, but I think it was against Cole. We played 3 maps. It was like 94 rounds or something. It was like I don't know. Every game went the distance. It was super taxing. And like the second day or the third day, we had to play. We arrived at like 9 o'clock, and we literally played till 3 in the morning. So it was just all day CS. Like it was so hard to do.
Well, that's why you don't fall to lower bracket, Now you know.
right. Learned our lesson, man.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, you had good games against Cole. Do you think that... how do you feel? Do you think that teams were unexpected, like teams weren't ready for you? Like, do you think you caught some people by surprise, or...
Everyone was sleeping.
I don't know, yeah, it felt like nobody thought that we would go there and do anything. It was crazy. I don't know. Like, everybody was saying Onage and Cole were going to be winning it. I was like, well, okay. So...
Yeah,
we pulled out some big ones, I feel like, because we beat Complexity, we beat BMC with Steel, and we put up a great fight against Owners. I was proud of how we played.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like you were taking that BO5, right? You won they did like the reverse sweep on you, taking it back, and none of those matches were really blowouts, right? On those maps, like it was pretty. Like you said, it was knockdown, drag out kind of the whole way. No one was making it easy. So do you guys think that now you're on the radar for some of these teams, like that will be looking out for you in qualifiers and the like?
Oh, definitely. I feel like we've already gotten like noticeably a lot of recognition from just like I don't know. We're getting like new scrims, new Twitters. Like we're getting a lot better scrims to be honest. Like,
just as a result of this frag result, like recently.
Yeah.
So are you in the pro scrim group, or
I think as their season, like their little break season comes to like their break or whatever, I'm a bet or whatever said that we were gonna get in the group. So
okay,
finally,
that's awesome.
Cool. And that's very similar to kind of the path that like Singularity took after winning Copenhagen Games. They were kind of a lesser known team that kind of came out of nowhere to win that event, and then all of a sudden they're getting invites to the pro scrim group, and just that alone, like that's why an event like this is so great, I think, because a team can come from relative obscurity and kind of get put on the map, and then once people notice you and start scrimming against you, you guys are only going to get that much better, right?
So, definitely.
Just the hard work that you guys put in to get to this point, if you can keep on doing it, it's all gonna work out. So that's cool. What do you guys think about kind of just like the state of North American CS like as a whole? Like there's kind of been like a dearth of new players coming up, and obviously here you guys are, right? So you're proving that it can be done. But what do you think about kind of like the path that people have to take and the relative hardships of it?
I feel like with the addition of rank S, like it's a lot easier for someone to like come up in the scene and like find a team and get noticed to just get that little bit of recognition that they needed. But I don't know, the NA scene is just in shambles right now. Like we're over here struggling. I just feel like it's the work ethic and like people are really concerned about like building their self, like their brand, than they are worrying about winning and just being like the best team. I feel, and that's like super like a huge hindrance to the NA teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we could just use more like leader figures, as in like people that actually want to become like IGLs, because there's so many people that can aim like in NA, like it's crazy, but we just need like a couple people that can put the brain and like use the people with the aim. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, you know, the by power players, Epsilon players were recently unbanned. You know, like last week. So what do you think about that development? Do you think that, you know, by throwing Steel and Daze back into the scene, do you think they can kind of help elevate the lower levels of the scene? Because obviously they can't go to majors, so they're kind of stuck in a quasi limbo sort of situation.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it was specifically with the addition of Daze back into the scene. I feel like he is such a smart player. Like I came into the scene after all these players were banned, so I never really got to like see how they play, see what they do. But it'll be really cool to like just witness them like come back and like Daze. I feel like he's literally just like the brain, the IGL that NA needs. So I mean, even if he could move into like a coach role or something, or like an analyst role for a team, that could definitely like spark something.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you never know.
I think everybody deserves a second chance. I'd love to see them get unbanned for more stuff, because that'd just be like, I feel like we're never gonna win a major until one of like those people can play. Like I feel like
until we make it, you know.
Yeah, until we make it to a major. Yeah.
Rise Nation at the major could happen. You never know. What do you guys think of like rank S in general? Like Ace, you said, like it's a lot easier to get noticed with rank S, but do you feel like it can engender bad habits in, I mean, yourselves or?
I mean,
Definitely. I feel like definitely just because like from like the viewing standpoint, like I'm not in rank S, so I can't really like tell for the players, but it seems like it's just like a content farm. Like everyone's trying to start their YouTube and Twitch, and they don't really take it as seriously as they should. Like back when rank S first started, I thought it was like a super cool idea. It was like an in-house for all the pros to play, and people tried really hard. But now it's just like, oh, you can grow your brand by doing something stupid. You can just like not take it seriously, be entertaining, and then I don't know. I thought they could definitely use some work.
Do you think that like moving from a monthly payout schedule to a weekly schedule will kind of help alleviate some of that, because now more people can kind of get a piece of that pie?
After that helped. Go ahead, Ron.
that was a perfect idea, I think, by them, like by making it weekly, because like I feel like it's like the same like rank S and rank G. Like as soon as like there's like the top 5 people solidified, then like everybody's just like, well, I'm not getting money, so like why would I even like care?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is when the content farming and the
when all
stuff and all that stuff happens, right? So
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what can be avoided. All right, so I mean, looking forward, what's coming up next for you guys and for Rise Nation? I mean, obviously you mentioned we're going to be coming out of the player break here in like 2.5 weeks. Even before that happens, the kind of tier 2 and tier 3 grind starts back up again. You guys will have a whole bunch of qualifiers coming up. ECS, ESL New York, this new whatever the EGS or whatever that tour is, and Mykonos. Even though that's a European qualifier, so ignore that. But yeah, so I mean, like, what's next for you guys? What are you looking forward to?
I don't know. Like you said, there's a ton of qualifiers we're getting invited to, so that's great. But I mean, I guess the best things to look forward to are the better scrims against like pro teams, because like good scrims is like a major key to improving as a team. Like you can't improve like quickly and rapidly if you're facing like open teams. Like that's not gonna happen. But I guess the one thing I'm really excited for are playoffs this season. Even though it doesn't mean anything, I just really want to go, not get first rounded, and go all the way to the LAN and just win that. Like I think that'd be huge for us.
Right. Yeah, so even though that it's not a promotion season, there still is the Global Challenge lane at the end of it. So that would be, you know, if you guys can qualify for that, get some, you know, international lane experience, then that's still a valuable tool for you guys. Sorry, John.
Definitely.
No, don't worry about it. But yeah, I was just gonna say that MDL is gonna be huge, and like there's so many good teams in Premier. Like I know Gambit. I don't think Gambit can make playoffs, right? Like considering like what they're like They have some ridiculous record.
They almost got
just,
demoted out of the league, actually.
Just the fact that like a major winners in Premier in Europe is just crazy, and there's so many good teams that we'll be able to like put our strengths against and stuff. It'll be sick if we can make it.
Yeah, and I mean, and depending on where MDL is held this year, I know that I think all three of the North American teams that went over to Europe last time around wound up doing some scrims against EU teams. So I mean, that's again more learning experiences for you guys. I mean, that'll be an eye opener if you get
definitely
some EU.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how much better EU teams are compared to NA teams. It's scary. Like, I feel like bottom of EU Premier is like better than top NA Premier, except for Rise Nation, of course.
Obviously, powered by GFuel.
Powered by GFuel.
So how do we fix that? How does that get fixed? Let's brainstorm.
I don't know. One thing I think is like I don't see why these top NA teams like Cloud9, CLG, and Liquid are still in NA. Like if you need better scrims, you need good practice. That's not gonna happen if you're scrimming the same three NA teams. Like, you have all this money, take your team, get that team house over in EU, get those EU scrims, and they would be so much better. I feel like that would be such a smart idea, kinda.
But when do they do that? Because they don't have EPL spots, they don't have ECS spots over there, so all they would be doing would be scrimming and not playing these leagues that they get free money in.
I mean, true, but I feel like it doesn't need to be about the money, it needs to be about the practice. I feel like I just don't think they're putting the effort, the work that they need to be. Like, sure, they can screen teams like SK, but I feel like that's the best practice they're gonna get over here. And SK, like, getting knocked out by EU teams like that sometimes, like
SK is damn good practice. If you guys,
I mean, it's damn good practice.
SK, that'd be pretty good.
Right. I remember once Immortals, they actually hit us up. I think this was still back. It may have been last season or may have been this season, I forget. But Immortals hit us up to scrim, and we totally forgot about it. Like, we literally egoed them on accident and just missed the scrim. And that was like the only chance we had at that. I'm so sad right now.
Yeah, that's not a good way to
not at all. Not at all.
Make some good faith in the pro scene.
We had the same thing happen with the Misfits one time. Jake Roll fell asleep, and we finally got a scrim against Misfits, and then that was the end of that pretty quick.
These United jackasses no-show to scrim. Never scrim them again.
Yeah, it was great.
That's why you had to change orgs, because you had to change the name so they couldn't remember.
Oh my god.
So yeah, obviously you guys want to perform well in MDL. If you guys can qualify for ECS, that'd be sick. Next season of MDL is the one that really counts because that's the one that will offer you guys promotion to Pro League. I mean, realistically, how do you like your chances of making it to Pro League? I mean, obviously you're on a big upward trajectory right now, but how long do you see that continuing?
I feel like we're really close. Like, there's a few key things that we really have to drill down on and improve on, specifically our anti-ecos. Like, if we never got anti-eco, games would be so much easier. But literally, our gun rounds are so strong. If the other team has one pistol at all, we're done for. Like, if they have P250s, we're fucked, man. It's the worst. But once we really just, grind down 110%, like, next season, everyone's going to be super focused, trying so hard. And I feel like, and especially with our results from like scrims that we've been having and like just people we've been playing, like we've been putting up the numbers, we like put in the work. I feel like it's gonna be good for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with the addition of like the pro Skype, we'll definitely like have way better practice. Like we won't have an excuse to lose next season. Like we really shouldn't. We should not drop a single map, unless if we play cash, we might lose. But like
right. Can't give away our secrets, man.
Yeah, auto ban every veto that I did with you guys. Cash out of there. All right.
Just New Dust 2. That map is just so bland. You can't do anything. Everyone's ready for everything. It's hate it. And everyone's so good at it. It doesn't make sense. It's like I just get one tapped wherever I go, man.
So what if they bring back New Dust 2, Dust 2 New, and replace Cash? Would that make
Yeah, definitely Happy Ace. Like, I farmed on Dust. I was like, I'm an Opera. That's my favorite map. I mean, I shed one tear every time I hear Dust. So, I don't know. With New Dust, it's just gonna be. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay. What do you guys think about some of the like lower tier teams in Pro League? Like obviously Complexity was at Frag. NRG might be thrown into this mix. Luminosity, and then all the teams that were just promoted, like Do you guys think that you can hold your own against those teams consistently?
You go ahead, John.
I don't know. We haven't gotten a chance to like play against like a LG or like an NRG yet. But like, I mean, like just Cole like getting 4th place at Frag definitely shows that like it's kind of like a joke at that point. Like, I think we could easily like if we got a match against him, we could definitely take their pro spot if we played against him.
Mm-hmm. Would you be in favor of like more aggressive demotion promotion between EPL and Premier? Like, do you think more of those spots should be up for the taking every season, or what do you think?
I think some more spots should be open because right now it's kind of like Complexity's on like the gatekeeper status. They're just like hanging in there with like their skill and like they're not really trying to improve. I feel like they really need to be pressured into performing more instead of just like I don't know accepting where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely should be more spots open, in my opinion.
Okay. John, you agree? Or you're just kind of like, yeah.
I don't know, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like all the teams in pro are like pretty decent. Like I don't even know. Like NRG is really like they're sick. They're just like doing that thing like that NA teams do the most. Like they get a good roster and then they're just like, oh, we lost one tournament. Okay, switch another person, and then they do it and switch another person. It's just like makes no sense. Like you're never gonna be sick by just replacing people all this like time. Like
who's even on energy right now? Because I mean they lost the EUs. Peter left. Like who's that on that roster right now?
I don't think they announced a replacement for Peter, right?
Not yet.
Yeah.
So they have Fugly, Breezy, Daps, and ANJ right now.
Oh yeah, they pick up ANJ. I forgot about that.
And they have a vacant 5th spot, allegedly. Who knows? And in other rumored news, what do you think about like the whole Rogue roster and them possibly bringing Cirque over, the Bulgarian player?
I've heard he's nuts. I don't know anything about Cirque, but everyone says he's insane. So I mean,
See,
it'll be cool.
That's the problem with NA. How do you motherfuckers not know who Cirque is? He's tearing it up.
When do you? I don't pay attention to that stuff, man.
He's the pride of Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. I don't even know where Bulgaria's at. Like,
oh boy.
The Rogue roster, that'll be sick. Wait, who's on that? It's gonna be like Hiko. Wait, is that the Hiko roster?
Yeah, Shinobi, Vice, Wrath, Hiko, and maybe Cirque. Who knows?
And maybe Cirque. I feel like that can be a pretty nuts team to be honest. Because I mean, Wrath is insane. Like his mechanical skill, his aim is just nuts. That dude's gonna like beat you in a gunfight every time. Like if he just gets like a leader to like push him in the right direction, like he can like I don't know, he can prosper. Like it'll be nuts. And especially if Cirque is as good as everyone says, and that team will definitely put up a fight.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of like a young player like Wrath, right? Like he's so young that he won't be able to actually play in Pro League until he turns 16, so a couple weeks into the season. Another one of those guys is Neptune, who actually was a former teammate of yours on the old Eclipse roster. Give us some insight into him.
Nep is insane. Like that's my brother. Like when I first came, like he took me in. Like that's just like my favorite person in the world I've ever met on like in Counter-Strike. That's like the homie. But I feel so bad that he can't play. I honestly don't know what's going on with that roster, and I feel really bad he's stuck inside like all the drama that's like in the Ghost Org roster going on. Because I mean, there's like 5 different roster changes on that team at all times. You never know who's gonna be in the next match. So I heard he's gonna be staying with Ghost until and they'll just like have him play whenever his birthday is, which is like a month into the season or something like that. But no, Nep's insane. Like his spray, he's never misses a bullet. His aim's crazy. He's really smart. It's just, and he's super young, so he's got plenty of time to just like grow himself. Like I can't wait to see how he performs.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So this is kind of like the end of my prepared questions for you guys. Are there any topics that you guys would like to cover while we're here? I figure I'll just give you the opportunity.
Anyone out there who wants to help us not lose the anti-ecos, I will pay you. I will pay you anything, all my bank account. Just help us, man. Help us.
That formidable 4-digit bank account.
Right? Hey, chill. Can't leak anything. But one thing, John, I really want to see this sword, dog. You got to pull out one of these swords, man.
Bro, I can't. They're
What
like
do you mean you
they're
can't,
like they're
bro?
like nailed into the wall, bro.
Pull that one out like the holster thing, the sheath.
No, I'm not doing it.
They're actually they're not in frame right now, but maybe John, you wanna? Oh, so yeah, if you just swivel the other way, yeah.
Look at that
there's
thing,
there's a gnarly little sword right there, yeah.
That's straight Lord of the Rings, like that thing's crazy looking.
And there's a katana on the other side that it's not in frame that you can't really see it right now, but it's there.
It's
So
fine.
basically, the moral of the story is don't fuck with Jonji because he will hunt you down with his katana and shurikens and enact justice upon you.
Right.
All right, so if you guys don't want to seize the open floor, then I will give you guys the opportunity to do some shout-outs, some sponsor plugs, whatever you want to do. This is your time, and then we're out of here.
For sure. You wanna go first, John?
Just one thing. Thanks to Rise and like giving us this opportunity, because like they're some of the coolest people I've ever worked for. Like truly, like they're just the best. Like no matter what happens, like we lose a match, like they don't care. They're just like, yo, good try. Like they don't pressure us at all. Like they just give us everything we need to do what we need to do, and it's just absolutely perfect. And I thank them a lot for that.
Cool.
Are you done? Is it my turn?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, for sure. I just want to thank, definitely, like John said, thank Rise. They're pushing us in the right direction. They took a big gamble with us because, I mean, we're just like a random Premier team who just switched out 2 players, and they still picked us up. Like, that's crazy. And so we have to put up results. They always push us in the right direction. It's awesome. Code Rise, GFuel 10% off. Shout out KFC. KFC's fire. And yeah, that's pretty much a shout out my team. I love you guys, Rise. John, you're the best, man. Shout out Andy, Neptune, Will. And I can't forget Moose, Caleb, the god, man. He's so good, it's crazy. But yeah, I think that's it for me.
Cool. All right. Thank you guys for your time, for coming on, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you.